Yes, you've heard about Camille Vasquez doing God's work during the cross-examination for Johnny Depp. But Depp's team has more aces up their sleeves, especially after another lawyer from Depp's legal team successfully destroyed Amber Heard's expert witness during the cross-examination.
The easy question then. Maybe we can...
That was pretty easy. Go ahead.
All right, Doctor, you're going to have to just answer the questions.
Okay. Sorry about that. Getting into it.
You need to just answer the questions,
Okay.
Dr. Spiegel.
So, how did Johnny's lawyer corner Amber's expert, and how will this affect the outcome of the case? Let's find out. Amber Heard introduced another expert witness in the person of Dr. David Spiegel to testify about Depp's alleged violent tendencies brought upon him because of his drug abuse. However, Johnny's team didn't let them go further and disabled Heard's expert. How did they do that? Well, they basically destroyed the very foundation of an expert witness and targeted Dr. David's credibility and knowledge of the field of psychiatry.
A significant number of my patients have suffered from intimate partner violence. I see it on a daily basis, and I'm not sure exactly why I'm getting asked the same question again.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Aside from obviously driving the expert into a corner, Depp's lawyer expertly capitalized on Dr. Spiegel's obvious annoyance about questions related to his credentials. Soon enough, Amber's expert witness lost his cool and started talking more than he should have, and boy oh boy, the more he tried to defend himself and his reputation, the more possible slip-ups came about. Watch how Depp's team triggered Dr. Spiegel's tattering after they asked them whether or not he was violating his ethical code as a psychiatrist after agreeing to be Amber's expert witness.
Psychiatrists are ethically prohibited from evaluating individuals without permission or other authorization, such as a court order. That's the rule, right?
Again, if you're reading that, then I have to believe you're not misrepresenting it. And I would come back to, again, then this whole thing on expert, we might as well get rid of all the expert witnesses we've had throughout all of time for court proceedings. Because what you're saying is unless a court orders it, and that's what you just said, or the APA said, then therefore expert witnesses cannot do an evaluation based on an observation of the medical records. Insurance companies.
And just like that, Johnny's team was able to lead Amber's expert into a corner where he had no choice but to defend his ethical standard, which he obviously was having a hard time doing.
Why don't we talk about what you just testified to? Because I didn't ask you anything about that. I asked you whether, under this rubric, under this principle of medical ethics, have you acted unethically? Yes or no?
No. As an expert witness, I have not acted unethically. And if you want the jury to believe that expert witnesses are unethical, then I guess that's for them to decide.
Yes or no,
that's for them
sir.
to
You
decide.
said no. Let's go to the next question.
Here's the fun part. Depp's lawyer continued his line of questioning by asking Dr. Spiegel whether he agrees that before making a psychiatric diagnosis, a doctor is expected to conduct a thorough examination of the patient, to which Dr. Spiegel agreed in a heartbeat.
Psychiatric diagnosis occurs in the context of an evaluation based on thorough history-taking examination and, where applicable, collated or collateral information. You'll agree with that?
I believe I said that earlier, yes.
Yeah. And it's a departure from the methods of the profession to render an opinion without an examination and without conducting an evaluation in accordance with the standards of psychiatric practice.
However, he visibly hesitated when Depp's lawyer pointed out how he previously testified of not having personally diagnosed Johnny and yet was giving testimony against him and his alleged violent behavior.
And it's a departure from the methods of the profession to render an opinion without an examination and without conducting an evaluation in accordance with the standards of psychiatric practice. Correct?
Well, again, by the way, for the record, intimate partner violence is not a psychiatric diagnosis. I'll start with that.
Dr. David then proceeded to explain, and here's what he said.
Substance usage by themselves is not a psychiatric diagnosis. If you want to cut to the chase, psychiatry is not a diagnosis of that. Narcissistic personality traits is not a diagnosis. Ergo, I am basically commenting on the things that were brought to me, which are not diagnosis. But an evaluation, if I was going to treat a patient or anyone here, those are the steps I would take.
He's basically recounting his prior statements and is trying to make it seem like he didn't agree with the lawyer's question earlier. Fans even commented about how the doctor continues to demolish his own statements, which is very tragic as an expert witness. One fan wrote, He's contradicted himself literally more times already than Amber did in her entire testimony. Expert testimony, other than medical doctors' opinions regarding a patient, can provide general knowledge. The guidelines are that doctors can't do expert testimony regarding a point he never assessed. The judge had to stop him from making unnecessary comments at one point.
I think it's fairly obvious. So thank you. Go ahead. These were your words. I'm just saying them back how they're interpreted.
Okay. Let's start with the easy question then. Maybe we can.
That was pretty easy. Go ahead.
All right, Doctor, you're going to have to just answer the questions.
Okay. Sorry about that. Getting into it.
You need to just answer the questions,
Okay.
Dr. Spiegel.
But the damage was done. How about you? Do you think Amber's expert witness just busted himself, and how do you think his testimony will affect the case? Let us know in the comments below.